Part 4. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 31. Almost at the same time, the Third Hokage thought of the same thing as Narashikaku. Not only was Sarutobi Shinoshuke dead, he died meaninglessly. He couldn't even announce the death of Sarutobi Shinoshuke to the public. Except for these people here, even. It's impossible for a few people to know that Sarutobi Shinoshuke died. And Sarutobi Shinoshuke is not an ordinary ninja with no official position. He is the head of Umbu. The Umbu minister disappeared out of thin air. Together with a large number of Umbu who are dispatched today. Disappeared together. Konoha's Umbu consists of 4 teams in total. 2 of the teams are completely controlled by the Sarutobi clan. Today, in order to encircle Hinata Naraku, he mobilized almost all the Umbu from these 2 teams. But now, his son Sarutobi Shinoshuke, the Umbu minister, was gone. The Umbu of both squads were almost completely wiped out. When he thought of this, the Third Hokage felt his eyes darken. After returning, the other Umbu ninjas suddenly discovered that half of their colleagues were suddenly missing. Even their Umbu minister disappeared inexplicably. Would they come and ask him, the Hokage, where the rest of the Umbu had gone? And how should he explain it then? Can't explain it at all. There is no reason to explain why the Umbu minister and 2 teams of Umbu ninjas disappeared out of thin air. You. The Third Hokage pointed at Hinata Naraku and felt his chest was congested. Today's loss almost made him vomit blood on the spot. The 3rd generation of adults is not worthy of being so excited. Hyaga Naraku said with relief. It's just that a group of spies have been sneaked into the village, not to mention that all of these spies have been killed. The major clan chiefs next to them looked at each other. This Hyaga Naraku is a bit damaged. But when they think about what Hyaga Naraku has experienced these days, they find that they can completely understand. The daughter who saved the Hyaga clan leader in the first place should have been a great achievement. However, due to the unreasonable demands of Kumogakure village and the weakness of the Third Hokage, he was asked to sacrifice his life to please Kumogakure. Yesterday and today, he suffered 2 waves of assassinations. In good conscience, if they encountered something like this, they would probably have fled the village and become rebels. These 2 people are already in a fight to the death. Someone thought secretly. Whether it was Hyaga Naraku killing the Third Hokage's son, or the Third Hokage's 2 attacks on Hyaga Naraku. It is impossible for these 2 people to stop. This old guy, Sarutobi Hiruzen, should have died long ago. Some people cursed angrily in their hearts. The Third Hokage resigned after the Third War. There were already many people complaining about him at that time. After the Third Hokage came to power for the 2nd time, more and more people had a bad feeling towards him. If someone attacks the Third Hokage, many people will subconsciously form a tacit understanding, find a way to let themselves be held back by other things, and there is no way to rescue Hokage. They didn't dare to face the Third Hokage directly, but if someone can take the lead, many people wouldn't mind bringing some bad luck to the Third Hokage. That's all for today. The Third Hokage said with a slightly pale face. He just felt that this group of clan leaders seemed to have retreated away from him invisibly. Everyone, please come back. The Third Hokage waved his hands and was about to leave. 3rd generation sir, please wait a moment. Hyaga Naraku suddenly said. What else do you want? The Third Hokage glared at Mr. Third. I remember that there seems to be a rule in the village. If you catch or kill spies from other villages, there will be rewards, right? The Third Hokage. But this time, Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Itachi, and I eliminated hundreds of spies from other villages at once. According to the rules of the village, with such merit, one should be able to apply to learn a ninjutsu in the Book of Sealing, right? Hyaga Naraku said with a bright smile. Everyone was dumbfounded. A group of clan leaders felt that their views were about to collapse. Narashikaku felt that he was dumbfounded. He had no idea that Hyuga Nariku was not worried at all about offending the Third Hokage, and even wanted to get the reward. What kind of credit did Hyuga Nariku achieve? He killed the son of the Third Hokage. How dare he? How did he think of doing this? In his eyes, what kind of thing is Naruto? Ah! Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi also looked at each other. They didn't expect Hyuga Nariku to be so open-minded and directly asked to learn the ninjutsu in the Book of Sealings. You know, this sealing scroll has been recorded since the time of the first Hokage. In a sense, it can be said to be Konoha's most precious treasure. And Hyuga Nariku made this request and even thought about taking the two of them with him. However, Hyuga Nariku's logic is indeed correct. Although he studied the Book of Sealing Ninja, the merit required for this technique will be relatively high. However, eliminating hundreds of foreign village spies at once is enough merit. If these more than 100 people are really spies from outside the village, these people can cause harm to the village. The destruction is absolutely unimaginable. However, the strange thing about this problem is, everyone knows that the more than 100 people lying on the ground are not spies from other villages at all. Even the son of the Third Hokage himself is lying on the ground. Inside. However, no matter what they think, at least verbally, these people must be outside village spies. Especially the Third Hokage wants to bite this point to death. Puff. The Third Hokage couldn't help but spurt out a mouthful of blood. This damn guy. He killed his son, and he actually dared to take this kind of thing as a meritorious service and come to him to ask for a reward? However, he couldn't find any reason to refuse. Unless he dares to admit directly, these people who attacked Hyuga Nariku are not spies from other villages. It will be great to read books on May Day. Deposit 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 32. However, the clan leaders present did not express any reaction to this. It's as if the person who was so angry that he vomited blood was not the Hokage, but an unrelated passerby. Since there's nothing else going on here, let's take our leave first. Third generation Sama. Narashikaku, Yamanaka Hiki, and Akimichi Choza looked at each other and said. Seeing that the Third Hokage was still trembling with anger, Danzo waved his hand directly and let the group of people leave. Soon, a group of people left with their own thoughts. Here. What happened today has been determined. There was an outside village spy attacking Hyuga Nariku. On the one hand, Hyuga Nariku wiped out all the attacker's appearance features. On the other hand, the Third Hokage and several others were also bitten to death. This point. They originally thought that something big was going to happen, but they went back each with full of doubts. Nothing big happened. They just watched a farce. At Shikaku's house in Nara, the heads of the three families of Ino Shikacha. After leaving the battlefield beside the Minagawa River, they did not go back to their respective homes. Instead, they went to Nara Shikaku's home by chance. Today's three generations of adults are really like one. Shan Zonghai opened his mouth, but did not continue. Clown. Like a clown. Narashikaku said directly what he didn't dare to say. Yamanaka Hai opened his mouth, but did not refute. It was true. When they just arrived, what they saw was the Third Hokage who wanted to fight Hinata Nariku. It was only the combined efforts of Danzo and Mito Kadoyan who managed to stop him. Is Sarutobi Shinashuk dead? Akimichi Dingzeo confirmed. Although Sarutobi Shinashuk is a few years younger than the three of them, he is almost the same. An Umbu minister who is not over 30 years old and is at his peak still leads a team of hundreds of ninjas. With such a configuration, someone actually killed him. Dead, or rather, he disappeared. Narashikaku replied. That Hyaga Naraku really killed hundreds of ninja troops. Yamanaka Hai couldn't believe it. Not only that, the battle was resolved quickly. Nara. Shikaku narrowed his eyes slightly and continued. When such a melee broke out in the village, it was difficult to completely conceal the movement. What's more, we all noticed the continuous explosions and the sound of large-scale thunder escape ninjutsu. But why is it said that the battle was resolved quickly? Hiki Yamanaka asked curiously. Even if there were hundreds of pigs, it would take a while for Hinatan Naraku to catch them all, right? However, when they rushed to the scene, the only living people they saw were those on Hinatan Naraku's side. People. That continuous explosion of detonating symbols should have been caused by Sandei and the others. The reason is to ensure that Hinatan Naraku is killed. Nara Shikaku took a sip of wine and analyzed it bit by bit. But, obviously, it didn't work. At least what we just saw, Hinatan Naraku wasn't injured at all. After discovering that such a group of people couldn't do anything to Hinatan, and even more so after discovering that his son was about to be killed, the Third Hokage would definitely rush over as quickly as possible. Therefore, Hyaga Naraku not only solved the battle quickly, but also completely solved the battle before the Third Hokage arrived. Yamanaka Hiki and Akimichi Choza looked at each other, horrified. You know, Sarutobi Shinnishuk is not an ordinary person with no power. Even if he is not an opponent, he should be able to protect himself for a while, right? But, the Third Hokage rushed to the battlefield after seeing his son in danger. By the time he arrived at the Nankawa River, the battle was completely over. Therefore, Sandei, who failed to save his son, went berserk. Nara Shikaku drank all the sake in the cup with empty eyes. He wanted to ask, why did the Third Hokage have the right to be angry? Are you the only one who is a member of the Sarutobi clan? Who are the Nara clan? What are those people who were forced to join the root organization by Danzo and ignored by the third generation? Yamanaka Hiki's face also darkened. A genius child of their Yamanaka clan, Yamanakazuka, was already a child at a young age. Taken away by Danzo's root organization. However, the Third Hokage did not say anything about this. The Abarame clan. Abarame Shimai just told his younger brother, Abarame Shijiro, what happened before. Therefore, because his son was killed, Sandei frantically wanted to kill Hyaga Naraku. After Abarame Shiwei finished speaking, she fell silent. Abarame Shihei, who had been silent, nodded with an uncertain expression. His son, Abarame Takejin, has left the Abarame clan and joined the root organization. Abarame Shijiro wants to ask the third generation. Doesn't his Abarame Shijiro's son count as a human being? What's the difference between his son who joined the root organization and his death? Kakashi Hei takes home. Kakashi, you said Naraku was attacked again today. Medi said in surprise. He, Kakashi and Hyaga Naraku were both students of the ninja school at the same time. They also have a good relationship on weekdays. How about we go and see him? Metka suggested. Not for now. Kakashi was silent for a while and replied. Kai, what happened to Naraku being attacked today is a secret, don't tell it. After saying that, Kakashi fell silent again. He was like a scarecrow in the wind, only barely swaying when the wind came, gaining some popularity. After the wind passed by, he became a scarecrow with a dry heart. Hyaga clan. What? The great elder Hyaga only felt that his whole body was cold. You mean, Sarutobi Shinnishuk died. Hinata Hizu's expression changed. The village has determined this matter. It is spies from other villages who want to attack Naraku. Hyaga elder felt dizzy and almost fell down. Hokage-sama said so, but that was his son. That guy Hyaga Naraku, how could he even dare to kill the Hokage's son? Why did the Hyaga clan, out of nowhere? Such a daring disaster. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 33. The Clan of the Sarutobi Clan. Just after leaving the Nanga River, the Third Hokage and the others did not return to the Hokage building, but came to the home of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Boom. The sound of glassware breaking on the floor could be heard from time to time. After returning home, the Third Hokage finally began to vent unbridled. Day. Towards. Nay. Fall. The Third Hokage roared crazily. Today's experience made him want to tear Hyuga into pieces. This bastard actually killed so many of our tribesmen, how could he do it? Xiaoharu was also very angry when he went to bed. Although his direct blood relatives were not dead like the Third Hokage, none of his clan members who surrounded Hinata Nariku today came back. The roots had been counted, and the number of corpses matched the number sent out. Danzo said with his eyes closed and without any expression. This means that not even one of the people they sent out today managed to escape. They all died by the Nanga River. They died here. A cemetery prepared for Hyuga. Danzo. Hearing Danzo's voice, the Third Hokage finally stopped frantically throwing things and glared at Danzo. It's all your nonsense that Hyuga is weak and has no chakra. If you hadn't analyzed it randomly and we had rushed there earlier, Shinashuk wouldn't have died. Danzo opened his eyes, frowned, and said. It's not me who killed him. If you want to vent, don't come at me. You're not the only one who died. Aren't none of my tribesmen and subordinates survived? What's more, it's because your son is not strong enough. He couldn't even hold on until you rushed over. Danzo, stop talking. Mito Kato and looked at the Third Hokage's increasingly darker expression and quickly stopped Danzo's words. To be fair, he felt that there was nothing wrong with what Danzo said. If Sarutobi Shinashuk can stand up for himself, he can stay under Hyuga for a while longer. The situation may be different today. The question now is, what do we do next? Mito Minion thought about the current situation and couldn't help but sigh. This scourge of Hyuga must be eliminated. Xiao Chun said firmly when he went to bed, to do such a cruel thing to people in the same village, there is no village in his eyes. Yunyan is still waiting for an explanation. Mito Minion said. The Umbu and Roots suffered heavy losses and needed to be replenished. Danzo said. Also, the Umbu minister needs to be re-elected, he cannot just remain vacant like this. Those ninjas should also be beaten, they are becoming more and more dishonest. Especially the Hyuga clan, they actually left a trouble like Hyuga without doing anything to deal with it. The three people said something to each other, which made the Third Hokage's head growl. All right. The Third Hokage shouted, stopping the chattering three people. Come little by little. The Third Hokage held his forehead and said. Hyuga must be eliminated, both for the village and Kumogakure. The Umbu roots can be replenished by manpower and beating up those ninjas. As for the Umbu minister. The Third Hokage stopped here and frowned. Not only because he thought of his son who had just been killed, but also because this issue was indeed a bit difficult. There is no one in the Sarutobi clan who can replace the position of Umbu minister. Even Sarutobi Shinashuk was able to serve as Umbu minister only with his support. Heitake Kakashi, maybe. Mito Kabuto said with a frown. Apparently, he didn't think it was a good enough choice either. However, the problem is that there is no one in the Umbu now except Kakashi who can replace the Umbu minister. Kakashi. The Third Hokage secretly thought that if other reasons were not considered, Kakashi was an excellent candidate to succeed the Umbu minister. However, the problem is that Kakashi is not one of his own like Sarutobi Shinashuk. Many Umbu matters cannot be left entirely to Heitake Kakashi. Like today's encirclement and suppression of Hinata Nariku, Kakashi, as the captain of the Umbu, had no knowledge of it beforehand. This kind of thing must be left to someone you trust enough. If Kakashi becomes the head of the Umbu, it will be difficult for them to hide it from Kakashi Hatake if they want to mobilize the Umbu in the future. Forget it, let's put this issue aside for now. The third Hokage said with a sigh. He didn't even think about how to announce to the Umbu that Sarutobi Shinoshuke was resigning. As for the Hyuga clan, it's really time to take action. Boom. The sound of the door being knocked. Lord Hokage, the great elder of the Hyuga clan, came to visit. The ninjas of the Sarutobi clan reported outside the door. The third Hokage and the others looked at each other and said, "Invite him in." A moment later, Hyuga Sozo, the great elder of the Hyuga clan, walked in. He came here secretly. After learning that Hyuga Naraku killed the Hokage's son, he was almost speechless in shock. He could imagine that this matter will never end simply. Hyuga Naraku has offended the Hokage to death. He doesn't want to implicate the entire Hyuga clan just because of Hyuga Naraku's wanton behavior. He came here secretly this time to apologize. Hokage-sama, Hyuga Naraku is harboring evil intentions and being audacious. He is definitely a scourge to the village and the Hyuga clan, the great elder said with deep disgust. The third Hokage and several others looked at each other and said, "In this case, why don't you deal with him?" It's because Hyuga Hizatsu, an unqualified clan leader, actually tolerates a black sheep like Hyuga Naraku. Sooner or later, he will cause a big disaster. The third Hokage's brows moved. He already understood the purpose of Elder Hyuga's visit. In this case, why don't you Hinata overthrow Hinata and elect a new clan leader? The great elder was overjoyed. This is what he came for today. He is old, but his son Hinata Carmen can take over the position of Hinata Rikaizu's clan leader. When the time comes, you can do whatever you want to do with Hinata Naraku. What can be done with it? You know, if it hadn't been for Hinata Hizatsu's intercession before, he would have secretly activated the caged bird and executed Hinata Naraku. Therefore, not only Hyuga Naraku, but also Hinata Hizatsu's obstacle must be eliminated. Meet the great elder with an expression on his face. The third Hokage confirmed his guess and said, "I think the Hyuga industry clan is very good, and it would be great if he takes over as the clan leader of the family." The two sides looked at each other, and there was no doubt. After finalizing the corresponding details one by one, the third Hokage said with hatred in his eyes, "The last request is that I want to see Hinata Naraku die in front of me. Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die." Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 34. Uchiha Fugaku's House. Shisui, what ninjutsu are you recording? Uchiha Fugaku was originally very angry that the third Hokage actually attacked Itachi and Shisui together. But, unexpectedly, in the end, Itachi and Shisui actually got a chance to learn the Book of Sealing Ninjutsu. How could this not be called? He was ecstatic. The Book of Sealings handed down from the time of the first Hokage can be said to be all-encompassing. The scroll recording the Book of Sealings is almost the same size as the 9-year-old Uchiha Itachi when it is stood up. Generally, only those who have made great achievements can learn a ninjutsu. And their Uchiha will be subject to more restrictions in this regard. It is the art of flying thunder god Ji Shui said with a smile. His teleportation technique was already very fast, and he was called Shisui Shui Shui. Therefore, he chose this time and space ninjutsu, trying to maximize his advantages. Was it the space-time ninjutsu invented by the second Hokage? Uchiha Fugaku nodded thoughtfully. It is indeed very suitable for you. Itachi, what did you choose? Uchiha Fugaku asked curiously. Uchiha Itachi, who is only 9 years old this year, has already opened his Sharingan to the second Megatama, and his strength is not weaker than any Chuunin. He can even fight against Jounin. It was also invented by the second Hokage, The illusion of darkness, Uchiha Itachi said seriously. He chose the illusion he likes to use the most. The second generation Hokage Senju Tobirama is worthy of being a master of forbidden arts. As a member of the Senju clan, not an Uchiha, he also has great abilities in illusions. High attainments. Yeah. He is indeed my son. Uchiha Fugaku nodded with satisfaction, and immediately thought of Hyuga Nariku, who gave Itachi and Shisui this opportunity. What's going on between you and Hinata Nariku? Shisui and Itachi looked at each other with serious expressions, and told everything about today without reservation, including Hyuga Nariku's views on the Uchiha problem. Uchiha's current situation is already very dangerous. He must find someone who can save himself. The way out? Soon, with Itachi as the leader and Shisui as the supplement, the two of them repeated Hinata Nariku's words. Uchiha Fugaku was suddenly bombarded by a series of words, and he was a little distracted for a while. It took him a long time to react, and he said in a tone of disbelief. Are the Uchiha clan already standing on the edge of the cliff? Shisui, is that Hinata Nariku a little alarmist? Although tribesmen often tell him that they want to launch a coup. But in his opinion, the conflict between the Uchiha and the village is not too serious. At least, it is not to the point where only one must be left. Clan leader, these are not just the views of Senior Nariku, Shisui said with a wry smile. Uchiha Itachi was responsible for explaining most of the content just now, and he could only add one or two words on the side. Much of what I just said was said by Nariku-senpai under the guidance of Itachi. Itachi. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Itachi with a serious face and no pride at all in surprise. Although he had always known that his son was very smart. But Itachi is only 9 years old this year. In a daze, he seemed to be unable to understand himself. Son. The next day. Hinata Nariku's house. Today is the second day after Union Village sent a war ultimatum. Yin escape chakra, 9300/10,000. His yin escape has been increased to 93%. Yesterday, he defeated the hundreds of ninja troops led by Sarutobi Shinosuke, giving him a full 600 chakra points. We are getting closer to the reincarnation Hinata Nariku thought happily. The newly obtained points yesterday were used by him to add points to yin escape. He could clearly feel that his pupil power had increased significantly again. The reincarnation is not far away. When he went to choose ninjutsu yesterday, he did not choose forbidden techniques such as Flying Thunder God or Eight Gates Dunjia. Instead, he chose a ninjutsu that seemed inconspicuous. Super Beast Pseudo Painting. A member of Team 7 who is always ignored in the original work, Sai's ninjutsu. However, in Hinata Nariku's view, this ninjutsu is a very promising ninjutsu. Because this is a ninjutsu that combines yin and yang escapes. Yin escape can create forms from the invisible. Yang escape can breathe life into inanimate things. The Super Beast pseudo painting can give the two-dimensional paintings in the scroll a three-dimensional shape. This belongs to the category of yin escape. And the animals painted even have a certain degree of self-awareness. This belongs to the category of yang escape. The ninjutsu Super Beast pseudo painting that combines the two has the magical power to create life. Of course, this ninjutsu is still far away from the yin and yang escape that can truly create life. But it's still a ninjutsu with great potential. Senior, why does this bird seem to be alive? The speaker was Uchiha Shisui, who came to visit early in the morning. Next to Shisui were Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi, father and son. Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi nodded. They felt the same way. In a sense, it can indeed be considered alive. Hyuga Nariku smiled and snapped his fingers. The ink-colored crow on the drawing paper suddenly revealed a real charm in its eyes. The next second, the ink-colored body bulged and flew out from the drawing paper. This. Shisui and the other three were dumbfounded. This crow is almost exactly the same as the ninja crow that their Uchiha often use. This is the power of yin-yang escape. Hyuga Naruto looked at the crow that landed on his fingertips. Just looking at the appearance, this crow is almost the same as an ordinary crow. The delicate feathers and the eyes with some smart charm. However, Hinatan Naruto understands that its essence is still infused. The ink containing the yin escape and yang escape chakras was mixed in. With a slight movement of his fingers, he threw the crow onto the drawing paper, and it turned back into the original flat crow painting. Your abilities are truly exquisite. Uchiha Fugaku praised in a very respectful tone. He came today to ask Uchiha questions. He didn't expect to see such a magical scene. Regarding Uchiha, I already told Shisui yesterday what should be said. Whether the Third Hokage suppressed you Uchiha, you, the clan leader, should know best. Hyuga Naruto looked into Uchiha Fugaku's eyes and said. However, Uchiha shouldn't have reached the point of annihilation, right? Uchiha Fugaku still feels that Hinatan Naruto is a bit exaggerated. Yeah, Hyuga Naruto asked, then why don't you dare to tell people that you have opened the Mangekyo Sharingan? You. Uchiha Fugaku stood up in shock. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 35. Who told you that? Uchiha Fugaku blurted out. But the next second, he knew that he had said something stupid. Because he never told anyone that he turned on the kaleidoscope. Hinatan Naruto shook his head and said no one told. But I can see that your yin escape chakra strength is at the same level as Shisui. Escape. Uchiha Fugaku read this word subconsciously, and then suddenly discovered another thing. On the same level as Shisui. Did Shisui also activate the Mangekyo Sharingan? The clan leader also activated the Mangekyo Sharingan, Zisui said at the same time. After saying that, Zisui and Fugaku looked at each other. What is this? Shisui, the top Uchiha master, opened the kaleidoscope. The clan leader didn't know it, but Hyuga Naruto, an outsider, knew it. Fugaku, the Uchiha the clan leader opened the Mangekyo, Shisui didn't know about it, but Hyuga Naruto, an outsider, knew about it. Both of them felt a little ridiculous for a moment. Hinatan Naruto directly told Shisui about the Mangekyo, but didn't mention anything about other gods. Itaka can trust Shisui absolutely, and even if Fugaku is willing to trust Shisui, he will be afraid of the power of other gods to twist his will. However, there is nothing to hide from Fugaku about the kaleidoscope. At least, Shisui and Fugaku are there. They are unanimous in their stance on saving the Uchiha clan. You don't dare to tell the story about Mangekyo because it may cause a bigger blow to the Third Hokage. Hyuga Naruto said slowly. And the third generation surveillance of Uchiha is meaningless. Because he couldn't possibly not know that the Nine Tails rebellion couldn't have been caused by Konoha's Uchiha. Why? Uchiha Fugaku subconsciously asked. Isn't this a simple matter? I remember that your wife had a very good relationship with the late Fourth Lady Uzumaki Kushina. Really? Uchiha Fugaku nodded. When Uzumaki Kushina was pregnant, Uchiha Mikoto was also pregnant with Suzuki. The two families were just about to get married. Therefore, the death of the fourth generation will not do any good to the Uchiha, and causing the Nine Tails rebellion to kill the fourth generation couple will instead lead suspicion to the Uchiha clan, who are said to have the ability to control tailed beasts. And it's impossible for the third generation not to know this. Then what is the purpose of monitoring Uchiha? Uchiha Fugaku was puzzled. Suppress. Uchiha Itachi, who had been silent next to him, blurted out, and then added. In fact, if you do this, the clan members will become more and more resentful towards the village. And the resentment that cannot be vented will eventually get out of control. After getting this answer, Uchiha Itachi looked at Hyuga Naruto with a searching look. Hyuga Naruto smiled approvingly. Yes, the symptom of losing control is the increasing desire for a coup. Before the Uchiha coup, it will be wiped out by the village. This move is a bit insidious. It may be the joint work of the third generation and Danzo. Itaku. Uchiha Fugaku looked at his son blankly. He was once again shocked by how evil his son was. Could it be that the third generation is really suppressing us and pushing us to a dead end? Neither Shisui nor Fugaku fully believed this statement. In the words of Hyuga Nariku and Uchiha Itaku, the third generation's vicious intentions towards their Uchiha exceeded their imagination. They're coming soon. Hyuga Nariku listened to the footsteps approaching the door. Boom. The door was knocked twice, but no one from outside came in. Nariku, the clan suddenly said that a clan meeting was going to be held, right now. It's the voice of Hinata Hisashi. Get out of here. Go and hold your hands in all directions, don't let that Hinata Nariku guy escape. An arrogant voice sounded outside the door, followed by a group of people's promises and chaotic footsteps. It was the son of the eldest elder of the clan, Hinata Carmen. Hinata Carmen pushed Hinata Hisashi aside and kicked him door. Click. Under the huge force, the door panel shattered. Go and escort Hinata Nariku out for me. Hyuga Yagate commanded the bastards around him and said energetically. His father has already told him that after today, he will be the elder of the Hyuga clan. And Hyuga Nariku will be activated as a caged bird in a while and executed in public. Therefore, for Hinata Hisashi, a person he usually had the most basic respect for, now he is completely dismissive of. Mr. Yemen. However, the branch ninja who was called in by him to escort Hinata Nariku out, was lingering at the door and did not dare to go in. What are you doing standing here? Why don't you go in quickly, et? Reaching out to move away from the person in front of him, Hinata Carmen walked into the room. As soon as he came in, he saw 3 pairs of scarlet cherry non-eyes, staring at him. In an instant, a layer of cold sweat broke out on Hinata Carmen's back. He didn't know until today that it was so scary to be stared at by Uchiha Sharinan. Soon, a feeling of anger surged into Hinata Carmen's heart. Just Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Shisui, how dare a little brat like Uchiha Itaku dare to stare at him like this? He is about to become the leader of the Hyuga clan. Chief Fugaku, I wonder what your duties are. Hinata Carmen endured the discomfort of being stared at by the Sharinan and said. I came to visit Mr. Nariku at his home. Uchiha Fugaku frowned, who are you? For Uchiha Fugaku, Hyuga Nariku is now a nobleman who can save their Uchiha clan. As for the latter sentence, it is not meant to be humiliating. He really does not know that Hyuga Nariku is the son of the elder of the clan. You. Hyuga was furious. In his opinion, he was a big shot who was about to become the leader of the Hyuga clan. He knew Uchiha Fugaku, how could Uchiha Fugaku not know him? However, facing Uchiha Fugaku's Sharinan, he didn't even dare to say anything. Holding back his fear and anger, Hinata Carmen reluctantly turned his gaze to Hinata Nariku. Hinata Nariku. Could it be that this is your confidence? Do you think the Uchiha clan can protect you? What happened today? They have the support of Lord Hokage. Compared with Hokage, what can the Uchiha clan do? Thinking of this, Hyuga Carmen suppressed the fear of being stared at by the Sharinan and taunted Uchiha Fugaku and the others. Road. Being mixed with a loser like Hyuga Nariku, the Sharinan seems to have a very good eye for seeing people. After saying this, he seemed to have the courage again, and mocked Hyuga Nariku. Hinata Nariku, no one can save you today, I said, poof. Before he finished speaking, the Hinata Nariku in his eyes suddenly disappeared. The next second, a huge force hit his abdomen and knocked him away. You. Hinata Yaman fell to the ground, blood flowing out from the corner of his mouth. Reading books on May Day is so fun. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now, Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 36. Hinata Carmen was punched away and fell to the ground. Facing Hinata Nariku, who was still walking towards him step by step, he felt extremely angry. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Today should have been his most glorious day. Today he is going to become the leader of the Hinata clan. How could Hinata Nariku, a guy who was about to die, still dare to hit him? Among the ninjas who came with him, no one dared to come up to save him. Hinata Nariku walked up to Hinata Carmen in no hurry, grabbed his collar, and lifted Hinata Carmen, who was vomiting blood and fell to the ground. You bastard, poof. Another heavy punch hit Hinata Yaman's abdomen hard. I hit you just now because you disrespected Uncle Hisashi. Hyuga Nariku said slowly. This punch now is because you kicked down my door. I will attend the clan meeting. If you have any questions, come directly to me. After saying that, Hyuga Nariku threw away the Hyuga Carmen in his hand as if he was throwing away garbage. Hinata Carmen was almost mad with hatred. Hyuga Nariku was the same, as were Uchiha Fugaku and the others. They all regarded him as nothing. Hinata Nariku, you bastard, stay arrogant for a while longer. Hinata Yaman struggled to get up and said with a face filled with resentment. Uchiha clan leader, you can also go and listen. You will know soon that your Sharingan is wrong. Hyuga Carmen said with malice to the three Fugakus who were looking at him indifferently. He wanted Uchiha Fugaku and the others to see Hyuga Nariku die with their own eyes. After saying that, Hinata Carmen covered his head that was still aching. Belly, he staggered away from Hinata Nariku's house. The group of ninjas who came with him from the separate families also left as if they were being amnesty. Nariku, is there really no problem with this? Hyuga Hisashi said worriedly. No matter how strong Hyuga Nariku is, the bird in the cage is the Achilles heel of the branch family. With this control method, the life of the branch family is completely dependent on the clan family's thoughts. Don't worry, they only have so many means. Hyuga Nariku waved his hands and said with a smile. The reason why the Zone family dared to deal with him was simply hoping to activate the caged bird to kill him. However, the caged bird had no effect on him at all. I believe Nariku-senpai will not do anything unprepared. Uchiha Shisui said without any doubt. Uchiha Itachi also nodded. In his opinion, with Hinata Nariku's wisdom, since he dares to do this, he must be sure to deal with all changes. Shall we go there together and take a look? Uchiha Fugaku did not make his own decision, but asked politely. It's a good idea to go and have a look. Hinata Nariku said with a smile, maybe there will be some surprises. Hyuga Hisashi looked at the scene in front of him blankly. He found that he suddenly couldn't understand Hinata Nariku. Uchiha Fugaku, the leader of the Uchiha clan, and Shisui Shunshen, the top master of Uchiha. These people, hidden during the period, it seems to be headed by Hinata Nariku. As soon as Hinata Yaman walked out of Hinata Nariku's house, he saw a group of ninjas outside the house. Different from the group of separated ninjas around him. The split families of the Hyuga clan are not all on the same side. Under the control of the caged bird for many years, the branch families of the Hyuga clan gradually divided into two camps. Although most of the ninjas of the branch family could not and did not dare to resist the clan, they were resentful of the control of the caged bird. In contrast, there is a group of ninjas who have completely surrendered to the clan. This group of people completely sold their dignity to the Zone family and obeyed the Zone family's orders. Relying on this, these minority ninjas of the separate clans have achieved a status that exceeds that of ordinary ninjas of the separate clans. Although they were humble in front of the Zone family, they became masters in front of other branch ninjas. As a result, the branch families were divided into two groups. The ninjas outside Hyuga Nariku's house obviously did not join the clan. As soon as they saw Hinata coming out of the gate, the ninjas of the branch family who were whispering outside suddenly became silent. Hinata Carmen, who was still aching from being beaten by Hyuga Nariku, regained some dignity in an instant. However, the next second, he discovered the hidden jest in the eyes of those separated ninjas. He was beaten by Hinata Nariku just now and vomited blood, and now the blood is still stuck to his clothes. Snort. Hinata Yemen snorted, but did not dare to stay any longer. Before he could walk completely far, he heard a bang from behind and burst out laughing. Damn it! These damn guys! You bastards, why are you still following me? Hyuga Yagate looked at the branch ninjas who followed him and defected to the clan, and cursed angrily. Get out of here! What did you do just now? A bunch of trash. After saying that, Hinata Yemen threw away everyone and left as if running away. Father, why can't you just kill that bastard with a caged bird? Hyuga Carmen, who had just changed his clothes, asked his father. Hyuga Sozo, the great elder of the Hyuga clan, looked calm and said in a leisurely tone. Hokage-sama will rush to the scene. Lord Hokage said that he wants to see Hinata Nariku die with his own eyes. Will Hokage-sama come too? Hyuga Yagate was ecstatic. He only knew that the Third Hokage was behind their actions today. But he never expected that the Third Hokage would come to the scene in person. Therefore, there is no need to worry at all, Hinata Nariku will definitely die today, the great elder said with a cold face. He has not forgotten that a few days ago, Hinata Nariku grabbed his neck and picked him up. We can't let him get away with it like that. The hatred on Hinata Yemen's face was almost so strong that it overflowed. We must torture him, make him regret it, make him suffer to the point of begging for mercy, and then kill him. The great elder nodded, with a gloomy expression on his face. He thought so too. Presumably Lord Hokage also hopes to see this scene. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 37. The center of the Hyuga clan's clan. There is a large open space here, where the Hyuga clan holds clan meetings on weekdays. On site, almost all the ninjas from the Hyuga clan came. Including Hyuga Niji, who is just 4 years old, and Hyuga Hinata, who is 3 years old. Hello brother Nariku. The two little ones said hello respectfully. Hinata Nariku smiled and nodded in response. Brother Nariku, why is everyone talking about you? Niji asked curiously. Hinata next to her also looked at Hinata Nariku with big eyes. She still remembered that it was this big brother who saved him a few days ago. Because some people want to play a game with me. Hinata Nariku said with a smile. It's just that they don't seem to know their own position. They are clearly just toys. Nariku, try to be more restrained today. Hyuga Hinashi came over in a hurry. This morning, the great elder suddenly told him that he would hold a clan meeting. The elders of the clan also had the right to propose convening a clan meeting, and he could not refuse. Although the great elder did not say what the purpose of convening a clan meeting was. What? But, based on the events of the past few days, it is obvious that they are going to take action against Hinata Nariku. However, Hinata and Hinata don't know what step they are going to take. Well. Hyuga Hinashi sighed deeply and complained. You were too impulsive a few days ago. No matter how angry you are, you should not attack the elder. He can understand Hinata Nariku's feelings. However, the elders also want to save face. His intercession as the clan leader can save Hinata Nariku from death, but it may not allow Hinata Nariku to escape any punishment. You may have to suffer some grievances today, so try to endure it, Hinata Hiza reluctantly said with relief. With me here, they can't kill anyone. No matter what, Hinata Naruko is the benefactor who saved his daughter. It is impossible for him to watch Hinata Naruko die in front of him. I'll try to be more restrained. Hyuga Naruko replied casually. He was very sure that the clan elders did not want to simply punish him and be done with it. Quiet. Quiet. The clan meeting began. In the front, Hinata Hizu and the three elders lined up one after another. The speaker was the elder who sat in the middle with Hinata Hizu. Today's clan meeting is not for anything else, but for the public trial of a person. The great elder stood up and glanced at all the Hyuga ninjas. He was slightly surprised when he saw Uchiha Fugaku and the others, but he didn't say anything. The Hokage will arrive soon. Uchiha Fugaku and the others are coming again. What can be done? The great elder looked at Hinata Naruko in the audience, his eyes became gloomy, and he continued. This man committed 3 major crimes, and he should be executed on the spot for each crime. First, he does not respect the clan, is rude to the clan, and is rude to the elders. Second, he is out there, acting recklessly and causing trouble for the family. Third, he didn't pay attention to Rokuin, but instead learned some messy ninjutsu, and even deceived other people. After speaking, the great elder's eyes were sharp. Hinata Naruko, do you have anything else to say? Brush. Everyone turned their attention to Hinata Naruko, who was sitting quietly in the audience at the same time. However, Hinata Naruko was not frightened at all, nor did he admit his crime. May I ask, elder, how could I be rude to the clan and elders? Hyuga Naruko stood up slowly and asked the great elder on the stage. The great elder's tone was stagnant and he was almost speechless. Why was Hyuga Naruko so rude to the clan? He beat the elder of the clan. After a meal. However, it is impossible for the great elder to bring this kind of thing up and talk about it. Please ask the great elder. Hinata Naruko's voice suddenly dropped, and then disappeared directly from his seat. The next second, Hyuga Naruko appeared directly in front of the great elder. Am I so rude to the elders? Hyuga Naruko grabbed the elder's neck and lifted him up. What a quick instant! Uchiha Fugaku on the side exclaimed. With his Sharingan, he could hardly see the traces of Hinata Naruko's movements. Naruko-senpai's teleportation technique is even better than mine. Uchiha Shisui said seriously. Naruko, put down the elder. Next to me, Hinata Hizashi said anxiously. It's enough to attack the elder in private. If you do this in public, today's matter may not end easily. He had clearly reminded Hinata Naruko to exercise restraint today. And Hinata Naruko also agreed. This is what you mean by try to be a little more restrained. Hyuga Naruko, put down the great elder quickly. The second elder and third elder sitting on both sides were also anxious. When they didn't notice at all, the great elder was caught again. If you don't let go, I will activate the caged bird. The second elder threatened to form a seal. Oh, really? Hinata Naruko didn't care. Then do you want to compete and see if I can crush his neck first? As he said that, Hyuga Naruko held the hand on the elder's neck and used a little more force. You. The second elder was so angry that his face turned red, but he didn't dare to actually activate the caged bird. I've obviously said that if you don't come in my way, I won't trouble you. Hyuga Naruko glanced at several people and said slowly. Do you think that if you have a caged bird in your hand, you are invincible? Hyuga Naruko was simply speechless at the short-sightedness of these clan elders. He relied on a caged bird, lying on the offerings of the branched ninjas, not wanting to make progress. Not to mention that the caged bird was ineffective against him. Even if he would be controlled by the caged bird, if he like now, control the person before the opponent activates the caged bird. The elders of the Zone family are just fish on the chopping board. You also said that I acted recklessly outside and brought trouble to the family. But wasn't it me who saved Hinata? I was asked to die by Sarutobi Hiruzen because of this, and he sent people to attack and kill me. Can't I fight back? Shut up. The second elder roared. Hinatan Naraku, don't talk nonsense. A voice came from far and near. The third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Umbu wearing more than a dozen animal masks walked towards the side. Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 38. Hinatan Naraku looked at the third Hokage who was gradually approaching, without any surprise. Attacked him twice but failed. In the third generation, they will naturally try to choose other methods. And his identity is that of the Hyuga branch. Therefore, it is not difficult to imagine that Sandai and others will try to use the power of the Zone family to kill him. I made a slip of the tongue. Hyuga Naraku said, how could the third generation send people to attack me? Yesterday, all I killed were a group of useless spies from other villages. The third Hokage's face suddenly darkened. The anger that had calmed down all night was about to surge up again. However, thinking of what was going to happen next, the third Hokage suppressed his anger. It doesn't matter anymore. Hinatan Naraku, this brat, can only be arrogant for this moment. After a while, when you face the caged bird begging for mercy, let's see if you will still be so arrogant. The third generation of adults. Hyuga Hizu looked at the sudden appearance of the third Hokage and said in surprise. Why did the third Hokage suddenly come over? He felt that things seemed to be completely beyond his control. I wonder what the third generation of adults is doing here. Hyuga and Hinata looked at the third Hokage with a wary look. The third Hokage ran to their Hyuga clan's territory. It couldn't possibly be for the purpose of killing people, right? Your great elder invited me to come over today to give a testimony. The third Hokage said meaningfully. Witness. Hyuga Hizu was startled. What matters does the great elder need the Hokage to come over as a witness? Hokage-sama is such a grand arrogant person. He has to bring a dozen umbu with him when traveling. Hyuga Naraku threw aside the great elder in his hand and mocked. This is not a testimony, this is clearly bringing people to suppress the formation. Ahem, huh. The elder, who fell to the ground and was finally able to breathe, stared at Hinatan Naraku with extremely malicious eyes. After a while, he must use the caged bird to torture Hinatan Naraku until he cannot survive or die. Hokage-sama was invited by me. The elder, who was helped up by Hinata Industry Gate, said slowly. Today is not just the public trial of Hyuga Naraku, there are more important things. I want to remove Hyuga Hizashi, he is completely unqualified as the head of the Hyuga clan. Boom. The crowd below was suddenly shocked. Depose me. Hyuga Hizu looked at a loss. He originally thought that the goal of the elders today was to punish Hyuga Naraku. But unexpectedly, the focus of the matter suddenly became him, the clan leader. Removal, Hyuga clan leader. Uchiha Fugaku also looked confused. Why did things suddenly become like this? The Uchiha clan leader is here too. The third Hokage looked at Uchiha Fugaku in surprise, and then found Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi next to him. His face darkened. These guys who didn't want to worry about him were all gathered together. Third generation Sama, is this not in line with the rules? Uchiha Fugaku's expression was not very good. According to the practice of the first Hokage, the Hokage cannot interfere in the internal affairs of the ninja clan. When the first Hokage established Konoha, the major ninja clans agreed on such a convention in order to ensure the right to speak in their own clan affairs. For this reason, even the first Hokage was unable to eliminate the ugly custom of the Hyuga clan's caged bird. I only appeared as a witness today. How can I be considered as intervening in the internal affairs of the ninja clan? The third Hokage said with narrowed eyes. Since he dared to come, of course he wanted a corresponding reason. He didn't need to explain this to others, but he didn't expect that Uchiha Fugaku, the Uchiha clan leader, was here. Hinata Hayashi heard. After saying this, his expression changed. He turned around and looked at the great elder's face, which became even more ugly. Does this mean that the great elder and the Hokage joined forces to depose him as the clan leader? I don't know why the great elder wants to remove me. Hinata Hizu said coldly. Because as the clan leader, you allow people like Hyuga Nariku who destroy tradition to do whatever they want. The great elder said seriously. Hyuga Nariku doesn't pay attention to the soft fist, but wastes time on messy ninjutsu, and even tricks others to do the same. Soft fist is the most powerful and perfect taijutsu handed down from ancient times to the present. What Hyuga Nariku did is completely destroying the foundation of our Hinata. And you, the clan leader, let people like Hyuga Nariku go as they please without doing anything to deal with them. Tisk. Hyuga Nariku smiled disdainfully. This is the argument again. These old antiques, who are as dead as bones, in order to maintain the status of the clan, are extremely resistant to things other than Ro Fist. They even do not allow anyone to question Ro Fist. After all, if you question Ro Quan, it means questioning the tradition of the Hyuga family. So, the next step is to question the Hyuga family separation system. That's why these clan elders must defend Ro Quan so firmly. Hinata Nariku, why are you laughing? The great elder glared. As a ninja, you should learn and use useful things. This is the correct attitude. Soft fist is not the most powerful or perfect physical skill at all. Of course, things that are useful for other taijutsu schools should be absorbed. In Hyuga Nariku's view, taijutsu is the perfect combination of speed, strength, and skills. But Rokuin is too rigid in fixed postures. Presumptuous. Listening to the crowd below talking about Hyuga Nariku's words, the great elder quickly scolded. Hinata and Hinashi, did you see it? Hinata Nariku doesn't care about his family's tradition at all. Hyuga Nariku must not be allowed to continue talking nonsense like this. If this continues, more people will question Rokuin, question the tradition, and question their clan. The harshest punishment should be imposed on traitors like you who abandon the belongings of your ancestors. The great elder formed a seal with his hands and tied them in front of his chest. Ban. 1 second passed. 2 seconds passed. 3 seconds passed. How can it be? The great elder was horrified. Under normal circumstances, Hinata Nariku should be rolling crazily on the ground in pain. Hinata Nariku moved forward step by step, sneering at the corner of his mouth. You who live in one clan all day long, after losing the caged bird, what do you have left? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 40. After a while. The dust has cleared. What kind of ninjutsu is this? What about the woods? Gone. Some Hyuga ninjas murmured to themselves in disbelief. After the white light that eclipsed the sky and the earth, they only heard a deafening and devastating sound. It seemed that no obstruction could hinder the divine attack in the slightest. In front of them, the Hyuga clan had always been attacked. The forest that served as a training ground had almost completely disappeared at this moment. A trace of aftermath that was more than 10 meters wide and dozens of meters long appeared in front of everyone. It was as if some terrifying giant had fought here. Just now, did Nariku say that this move is called Byakugan Shenkong Strike? Someone said in a low voice without confidence. I also heard it, with the word eye roll added in front of it. But, can our Byakugan really deliver such a terrifying blow? This move looks a bit like Bagwakongjang. How could it be possible? Some people subconsciously retorted. They all know the power of Bagwakongjang. Shooting chakra out through the palm is Byakugan's long-range attack method. However, looking at the almost disappearing woods in front of them, everyone knows. Bagwakwazang cannot have such terrifying power. Naraku, that blow just now was really made with the Byakugan. Hyuga Hisashi said in surprise. He wondered if Hyuga Naraku used some other ninjutsu to achieve this blow, and then pretended that it was done through the Byakugan. It is indeed necessary to use it with a white eye. Hyuga Naraku nodded and said. And this move is somewhat similar to the 8 trigrams air palm. In other words, the divine air strike should be regarded as Kagaya Itsutsuki's most powerful physical technique, a simplified version of the 80 God air strike. Both methods use the Byakugan to gather chakra in the palm of the hand and shoot it out. The key to the difference between the divine air attack and the Bagwa air palm lies in the strength of the chakra. Chakra that has been trained to the extreme can form an almost physical form after being beaten out. The shape of a fist. In the original work, Kagaya Itsutsuki used the Yagagami air strike to forcefully shatter Sasuke's complete Susan. I have told you before that you should not pay too much attention to techniques such as Rikuin. What is important is the strength of the chakra. The difference between chakra strength and soft fist techniques is like the difference between magic and magic. In the final analysis, the stronger the chakra, the stronger the power of ninjutsu, taijutsu, and illusion. But let's not talk about that now. Hyuga Naraku turned his gaze expressionlessly to the elder of the clan. Those branch ninjas who were frightened by the caged bird before were still hesitant and didn't know whether to obey the elder's order. But now, everyone is frightened by Hinata. Naraku's earth-shattering blow shocked him. I don't know what kind of crime it is to join forces with outsiders to overthrow the head of the family. Hyuga Naraku asked casually, seemingly unintentionally. The principal culprit shall be executed. Hinata Hisa replied without hesitation. Looking at the expression of the great elder, there was no sympathy. The accomplice carved the caged bird and stripped the family status. After the words fell, the faces of the 3 elders and the members of the clan who participated in this matter, including the Hyuga industry sect, turned pale. The second elder and the third elder felt that the sky was about to fall. They are noble elders of the clan. How could they be carved as caged birds? This kind of slave technique. However, after the blow just now by Hyuga Naraku, they have completely lost the courage to resist. Do you want me to give you another choice? Just when the second elder and the third elder were almost desperate, they heard Hinata Naraku's joking tone. This voice was like the sound of nature in the ears of the 2 elders. Is there any other choice? As long as they are not carved as a caged bird, there will be no other choice. Any conditions are acceptable. However, Hinata Naraku's next words made them fall into the ice cave again. If you don't want to be labeled as a caged bird, you can die together with the great elder. What happened today was caused by the great elder pulling the other 2 elders. In other words, the great elder is not even qualified to be carved as a caged bird. He must be executed. The second elder and the third elder looked pale. They did not want to be carved as a caged bird. But they don't even want to die. Fortunately, you still have a choice. Hyuga Naraku said, walking towards the great elder. Hyuga Sozo, are you ready to die? The great elder Hyuga Sozo's heart trembled. Is he going to be executed? He looked at Hinata Hayashi with eyes that looked like he was asking for help, but he found that Hyuga Hayashi, who usually had no temper, looked at him coldly and said nothing. I have absolutely no intention of saying any kind words to the great elder. No, it's not me who wants to overthrow the patriarch. The great elder suddenly thought of something, and suddenly pointed at the third Hokage beside him. It was all him and Lord Hokage who ordered me to do this. It was all promised to me by Hokage-sama, saying that he would support my son as the clan leader. He was the one who said he wanted me to kill you with a caged bird, and he also said he wanted to see it with his own eyes. The third Hokage's eyes opened wider and wider, and he said angrily, "Don't talk nonsense." Having said that, he was about to jump forward and kill the great elder on the spot. Kang. The third generation Hokage was stopped from rushing forward. It was Uchiha Fugaku. Third generation, is it not good to interfere in the internal affairs of the ninja clan like this? Uchiha Fugaku's tone was disrespectful. Until now, he still couldn't understand. The third Hokage colluded with the great elder Hyuga to replace him with a clan leader who would agree with the Hokage. This time it's Hinata. Next time, it's Hinata. Isn't it their Uchiha's turn? Uchiha Fugaku, the third Hokage gritted his teeth, his face was livid, he waved his hand and said to the Umbu beside him, "You guys, go and kill that guy who is talking nonsense." Just as the Umbu next to them was about to move, they saw Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi, also standing in front of them. Is it nonsense? You should at least let him finish, right? The one who spoke was Shisui. He never thought that under the kind appearance of the third generation, it would be so dark. Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Itachi, you two bastards, how dare you disobey the Hokage's orders? The third Hokage was furious. The two people he had expected to accept his will of fire are now on the opposite side of him. He wants to see me die as a caged bird, right? Hyuga Nariku was not surprised by the third generation's request and continued to ask. He also said that if my son becomes the clan leader, he will send enough people to fill the Umbu and roots. The elder had no reservations and told the last bit of the deal between him and the third Hokage. Hearing this, the third Hokage jumped up and down, but for a while he couldn't get around Uchiha Fugaku's blockage. Mayday reading was a joy to watch. Deposit 100 and get 500 VIP points for free. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 41. What did he just say and join where? The Hyuga ninjas present heard what the great elder said. However, they now wonder if there is something wrong with their ears. You mean Umbu and roots, right? That's right. You want us to join the root, join that Danzo's root organization. Even if the elder wanted to depose Hinata and Hinata just now, it didn't shock them as much as now. For ninjas from Hinata, the top ninja clan, Danzo, and the root organization are not a secret. Some people have even seen them. Ninjas of the root organization who carry out missions. Without a trace of emotion. Without a trace of hesitation. In order to complete the mission, even if they kill one of their own people, they will show no mercy. No one will like this kind of organization. No one will want to become this kind of organization. A member of the organization. Danzo has gone to various ninja clans many times to find talented young people and ask them to join the root organization. However, Danzo has never come to the Hyuga clan to ask for people. Similarly, Danzo has not dared to go. The Uchiha clan wants someone to join the root organization. Uchiha and Hinata, the two top wealthy ninja clans in Konoha. Unlike other ninja clans in Konoha, they can be suppressed easily. Such as in Izukako, in Yazuka, Abara is second-level ninja like a woman. As long as the third Hokage stands behind and supports Danzo, no one dares to completely refuse Danzo to ask for someone. At most, he can barely have some freedom in the selection of people to join the root organization. As a Hinata, the ninjas of the clan, even the branch members, are proud of this. Danzo dare not go directly to the Hyuga clan to ask for someone. Even the third Hokage cannot be so blatant if he wants to suppress Hinata. He can only rely on the Kumogakure mission. Only when the leader is killed can we find an opportunity to beat Hinata. But just now, the great elder of the Hyuga clan actually said such a thing. If his son Hyuga Carmen becomes the clan leader today, he will hand over Hinata a clan of ninjas, join the root organization. You said, the third generation wants someone to fill his Umbu and Danzo's roots. Hyuga Nariku's tone was cold and his eyes were indifferent. And you agreed? It's all him who forced me, it's all him, it's all Hokage-sama who forced me. The great elder became even more frightened when he saw Hinata Nariku's expression. Fart. A Hyuga ninja couldn't help but cursed. When you said you wanted to remove the Rizu clan leader, did you seem at all forced? This damn old thing actually wants us to join the root organization. Damn bastard, doesn't he know where root tissue is? What's the difference between going to that kind of place and dying? Everyone is already convinced that the great elder did use them to make a deal with the Third Hokage. It's not like they haven't heard of the internal style of the root organization. After entering, the first thing they were engraved with was a curse seal. The seal of Tung Bane. The person who planted this curse seal cannot tell any information about Danzo. And after that, it is brainwashing. Endless brainwashing. Brainwashing until you lose your emotions. Brainwashing until you lose yourself. It becomes like this, and death, what's the difference? If the caged bird of the Hinata family separation makes people lose their freedom, then the brainwashing of the root organization makes people lose even themselves. They will no longer remember who they are. They only know that they are the ones who complete Danzo tools for the mission. Even if Danzo asks them to die, they will execute it without hesitation. Thinking of this, the Hyuga ninjas present couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. If the Great Elder and their plan succeeds today, they will probably become the weight of the transaction was thrown into the root organization. This old guy really deserves to be killed. It's just a matter of uniting with outsiders, but they actually treat us as trading partners. Kill him, must kill him. All the Hyuga ninjas are excited. If the Great Elder really deposes Hinata Hisashi today. If Hinata Carmen really becomes the clan leader. What will happen to them? You guys, do you have anything else to say? Hyuga Nariku raised his palm and pointed it at the Great Elder and Hinata Yemen. No. You can't kill me. I am willing to carve a caged bird, I am willing to give up my status as a clan member. At this time, the Great Elder no longer had the dignity of a clan elder, and he knelt on the ground and begged frantically for mercy. No one wants you to live. Hyuga Nariku struck out with a palm, breaking the heart of the Great Elder. Even if he was engraved with a caged bird, the Great Elder would definitely die. He has offended all the Hyuga clan members. Even if he was engraved with a caged bird, some members of the family would not tolerate it. Don't hesitate to kill him. Good. Good kill. This old thing is finally dead. A group of ninjas from the Hyuga clan let out loud cheers. Next, it's your turn. Hyuga Nariku turned his attention to the Hyuga Industry Gate. This is also the main culprit today. After becoming the clan leader, he will send people to join the root organization. The Great Elder must have told the Hyuga Industry Gate. In other words, the Hyuga Industry Gate must also agree with this. No, it's none of my business. It was all agreed upon by my father and the Hokage. I was forced to do so. Hyuga Gate looked panicked and suddenly ran towards the Third Hokage. Hokage-sama, save me. Save me, poof. Hinata Yaman's eyes bulged, and he looked in disbelief at the Third Hokage who punched him in the heart. Nonsense, I have never made such an agreement with you. The Third Hokage killed Hinata Industry Gate on the spot and said with a serious look on his face. The third generation master was really decisive in taking action. Uchiha Fugaku stepped aside and mocked. The Third Hokage's expression did not change and he said, "Don't get me wrong, I just want to help you get rid of the scourge of the Hyuga clan. As for the transaction they just mentioned, it is absolutely not the case. Total nonsense. No matter what, he can't admit this kind of thing. You are the one talking nonsense." However, the Hyuga ninjas present had completely seen the face of the Third Hokage. Do you think we are fools? Aren't you here today just to support the Hinata family as the clan leader? You old monkey actually wants us to join the root organization. Get out, Sarutobi Hiruzen, get out. The Third Hokage's explanation did not have any effect, but instead aroused the anger of the Hyuga clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen, get out of Hinata. Sarutobi Hiruzen, get out of Hinata. The angry Hyuga clan members had no respect for the Hokage, and even picked up debris on the ground and threw it at the third Hokage. You. The third Hokage didn't say a word, but his face was covered with stones, branches, and mud. Seeing the growing shouts in front of him, the third Hokage turned pale and left with the Umbu in embarrassment.